Just by Short Skirts and Explosions. What a name. It was a sunny day in Ponyville. Pinkie Pie was trotting gaily along, humming to herself. Sugar Cube Corner rose in the distance as she passed lampposts and storefronts and mailboxes and limp Pegasi lining the road and flower bushes and picket fences and... Pinkie Pie skidded to a stop, blinking. She icily backtrotted back to the picket fences, the flower bushes, and then... Hiya, Dashy! She chirped. Oh, that impression was terrible. The limp mare continued lying on the road, belly first. Her limbs didn't move, her tail didn't flick. Everything about the Pegasus was drooped, dull, and dismal. From her ears to her fetlocks and all the fuzz in between. Even the colours in Rose's mane looked duller shade than normal. A gust of wind blew over the street as she sighed into the grass blades and aphids. Not one to stand apart for too long, Pinkie Pie flopped to her side and laid nose to nose with her best friend, grinning. What you doing? She melodically exhaled. Dying, Rainbow Dash said. Pinkie Pie blinked. Oh. Her eyes darted about. Since when? Since I was foaled, Rainbow droned. I came out of the womb screaming, and it's been all downhill ever since. Huh. Pinkie Pie's ears twitched, one after the other. Well, a bright grin. Do you need help with any of that? Life is short, confusing, and cruel, Rainbow exhaled. I've got all the help I need. Silence. Okie dokie dokie. Pinkie Pie hopped back onto her hooves in a blink. I'm gonna go get some sweets. And she bolted towards Sugar Cube Corner in a fuchsia blare. Rainbow Dash sighed. She didn't move. Minutes passed. A bird flew in, landed on a nearby lamppost, preened itself, chirped, and then flew off. A fly buzzed past Rainbow's ear. The fuzzy blue lobe didn't even bother twitching to shoo it away. When at some point in the glacial passage of time, a lavender-winged unicorn shuffled down the street. Twilight Sparkle had a smiling muzzle stuck deep in a levitating book, which might have explained the inevitable clockwork that was a comical tripping over Rainbow Dash. Gah! Twilight flapped her wings, balancing herself before the princess could take an unsightly plunge into the ground. Panting for breath, she twirled about and frowned at the cause of her floundering. Rainbow Dash? What are you doing lying in the middle of the road? You could hurt Somepony by tripping them. Yeah, I guess, Rainbow muttered. Twilight raised an eyebrow. Don't you have better things to do? Yeah, I guess. Did that, Twilight's wings coiled at her side as she tapped her fuzzy chin. Ooh, the Wonderbolts! Don't you have to train with them sometime this week or something? Yeah, I guess. Rainbow! Twilight Sparkle stomped her hoof. Quit it! What's wrong with you? Meh. Rainbow exhaled. Nothing. I'm fine. Well, you don't look fine. Twilight trotted closer, and her book levitated beside her. Are you sick? Nah. Did you fly into something and hurt your wing? Nah. Hurt your leg? Nah. Twilight frowned. Hurt your ego? Meh. Ha! Twilight grinned, pointing. That last one wasn't even an answer. Did I promise you an answer? Twilight opened her muzzle, but had nothing to respond with. Clearing her throat with a regal poise, the princess slipped her book into her saddleback, straightened her bangs in her mane, and trotted over to squat in front of limp Pegasus. Rainbow, she began. We're best friends. If there's something bothering you, I really want to help. But I can't unless you tell me what's bothering you. Nothing's bothering me. Then why are you lying in the middle of the road like a dead raccoon? I don't have anything else to do. What? Sure you do! Twilight chuckled, gesturing in the air. You could be doing flight stunts, practicing for the Wonderbolts, kicking clouds, flying east. She grinned, wagging her eyebrows. You could even be playing practical jokes on the rest of us like you always do. Meh. None of that is very funny anymore. Twilight fidgeted. Well, you could, besides, what does it matter? Awkward silence. What does what matter? Twilight stammered. Exactly. The Alicorn frowned. Rainbow, you're not being very helpful. What's to help? Rainbow breathed in. Someday we'll all be dead, she breathed out. And every joke we've ever laughed at will be just as dry and pointless as jumbled words they used to be long before anyone ever thought them up. So is that what this is all about? Twilight remarked. A fleeting case of existential ennui? Rainbow's eyes narrowed as she stared into nothingness. Must be really convenient to have a name for things you can't fix. Huh? Existentialism. Ennui. Anxiety. Taxes. Rainbow sighed. They're just words, Twilight. So is Twilight. Common names, proper names. None of them are worth any more than the other. Doesn't matter how hard we chisel them into granite. Either way, they fade away or we fade away. Both the life and the awareness of life. It's a race where no pony wins. Twilight was chuckling at this point. I can't for the life of me figure exactly why you believe that. Your Rainbow Danger Dash. You'd be grounded by the fear of death. I'm not afraid of dying. Rainbow droned, a slow exhale. I'm just tired of it. Oh. Twilight's tail flicked. She looked left, and then right. Well, how about all of your accomplishments with the Wonderbolts? She smiled. Doesn't that bring you satisfaction? Yeah, I guess. And all the victorious adventures we've had as elements of harmony. Doesn't that bring you pride? Yeah, I guess. A sense of catharsis? Yes, I guess. Rainbow! Twilight gnashed her teeth, her ear-tips turning red. Stop repeating yourself! Don't you realise how annoying that is? Is it? Rainbow's ears actually moved for once, although her body remained limp as a noodle. I miss being annoyed. Twilight blinked. But right that very moment, Pinkie Pie slid back into frame, landing on her side next to Rainbow Dash. The fluffy mare was scarfing a mouthful of baked goodness. Banana bread! Rumph. Another bite. Sugary crumbs christened the dull air between them. Scrumptious stuff! Always makes me super duper happy! She smiled a dirty smile and offered a morsel to her catatonic friend. You want a bite? Rainbow took a very long time in responding. Ever think about the last time you brushed your teeth? Huh? Pinkie blinked. Lots of ponies think about the last meal they'll ever eat. or the final pair of shoes they put on before some freakish event ends their lives. Rainbow sighed. I think about the last time I'll ever brush my teeth. Such a boring, stupid thing to do. And yet we're all programmed by society to do it. As if it'll make us all healthy or something. As if it'll extend our lives. A gulp. Kinda ironic. Then that, long after we're dead and rotting in the ground, it's our teeth that'll outlast the rest of us. Detective ponies even use them to identify murder victims, so maybe it makes some sense to polish them with such dedication to the end. Our teeth are all we'll ever have. Long after the last of us thought who we are and what we've done is vanished and forgotten. Oh. Pinkie Pie progressively curled up into a sombre pink ball, clutching the banana bread tender to her tummy. Well, it's probably why so many ponies have nightmares about losing their teeth, Rainbow Dash continued. They fear the inevitable, being reduced to a blackness that's even less discernible than calcified dust. She cleared her throat, blinking slowly into the grass. I haven't dreamt about my teeth in a long time. I haven't even dreamt about anything in a long time. But I do sleep. I sleep a lot. And I've been gaining weight. I'm the heaviest I've ever been right now. Oh. Pinkie Pie sniffled. Her mane turning straighter, glossier. That's so sad. Not really. Rainbow droned. Just boring. Rainbow, Twilight frowned. Stop bringing Pinkie down. Twilight's right, Pinkie. Rainbow breathed. None of what I said matters. That's not what I meant. Twilight exclaimed, stomping her hoof for the third time. Rainbow, what's gotten into you? Oxygen. Rainbow droned. It comes out as carbon dioxide. Pinkie managed to giggle. Dashy made a nerd funny. Yeah, I guess. Shouldn't that be Twi's line? Doesn't matter, Rainbow muttered. We're all meat and bones in the end. Oh, God. Twilight face hoofed. Rainbow. Did I come at a bad time, darlings? Rarity spontaneously shriveled up, gazing down at Pink and Rainbow. She sipped on a levitating cup of coffee and shifted the weight of her shopping bags. Oh, God. When doesn't she shop? I'm all for discussion of bones and meat, but usually not in the open. Hiya, Rare. Pinkie Pie bit into banana bread. Dashy's dying. Meh. Dying? Rarity nearly dropped her coffee cup. She took another sip and placed it into a strap of her saddle bag. Dying of what? Of living, Rainbow muttered. Yeah, what she said. Pinkie sighed. Oh, don't pay attention to Rainbow, Twilight groaned, nearing her limit. Of all her foolish cries for attention, this latest is the worst. Twilight! Rarity frowned. How could you be so callous? We're friends! Cries of attention simply cannot be dismissed. Rarity shuffled over and rested a hoof on Rainbow's shoulder. When our loved ones are depressed, we must be there to support them and nurture them back into the light. I'm not depressed, Rainbow droned. I'm just bored. See? Besides, Rainbow gazed off, dead still. There's no such thing as depression. Rarity squinted hard. I beg your pardon? I just realised something, Pinkie mewled, gazing lethargically at her banana bread. The loaf is half eaten. Rainbow, Would you mind clarifying that last statement? Twilight asked. Yes, what Twilight said, Rarity added with a nod. It doesn't matter, the Pegasus droned. Then why did you say it? Good point. Rainbow, now you're just trolling us, Twilight grumbled. What's the troll? Rainbow didn't have the energy to shrug her. Her shoulder lay limp tissue on the writer's gentle hoof. Depression is just another convenient word we use to clarify something that we can't control. So what's it matter to even try to label it? Oh? Is that so? Rarity bore a sarcastic grin. And what of the poor unfortunate souls who harm themselves and even choose suicide over living with crippling depression? Knives are real, Rainbow droned. Nooses and arsenic are real. Depression is just a word. Rainbow Dash. Twilight clenched her teeth. That is a cruel and unfair thing to say in the light of the millions of struggling equestrians clinically diagnosed with the illness of a yearly basis. Day in and day out, they work to climb their way back into the light to free themselves from... Twilight shook her head and spat. Sometimes it's even genetic. Ponies can come into this world with a neural predilection for chemical imbalances in the brain. Are you going to blame ponies for being born? It isn't exactly a smart idea in hindsight. Ugh. Twilight face hoofed. Rainbow, you're the most awesome specimen of Pegasupolitan breeding, Rarity exclaimed. You've even mastered the sonic rainboom and accomplished countless feats of awe-inspiring wonder. She smiled, caressing the pony's prismatic mane. And on top of that, you're absolutely gorgeous in your own way, darling. And I'm a wonderball, and countless ponies like to get my autograph, and I have practically free tickets to waltz into the Royal Palace at Canterlot and chillax like the celebrity athlete that I am, Rainbow droned. So many cool and awesome things. You're right, guys, she sighed. I don't deserve to be depressed. Twilight shook her head. Rainbow, that wasn't what Rach was trying to say at all. She craned her neck. And it's okay to admit feeling depressed. In fact, it's a fantastic sign. That's the first step to take. And then you can go on the road to recovery. Therapy, psychiatrist visits, even medication if it's needed. Is there a cure? Twilight blinked. Is there a cure? Rainbow repeated, her voice dull and dispassionate. Twilight lifted a hoof, avoiding Rainbow's gaze. Well, you know how many once ripe bananas had to die for this bread to be scarfed by a big fat pink pig? Pinkie Pie sniffled, her mane drooping limply around her scrunching muzzle. A lot. That's how many. Let me answer that, Twilight, Rarity said. She faced Rainbow again. Rainbow, with treatment, a pony can easily surpass the psychological hurdles of... What is cancer? Rarity froze mid-speech. Come again? Rainbow redirected the question elsewhere. What is cancer, Twilight? Twilight cleared her throat and spoke in a librarian's voice. It's when the cells of one's bodily organs grow abnormally and encroach upon other organs, occasionally leading to malignancy and even death. So it's basically when parts of the body have free rein to run the finish line, and no matter what the rest of the body tells them. Twilight fidgeted left and right. I'd say that's far from the scientific way of describing cancer. You're kind of generalising A cell's job is to grow and regenerate, right? Well, for the most part. So isn't cancer basically a cell doing what a cell does best? What the body part was grown and programmed to do? Hold on, Rainbow, it's a lot more complicated than that. Did something happen to ponies? Rainbow droned. Did some super evil Draconiquist drop a bomb on the entire Christian populace and that caused us all to mutate? Can we blame magical freak accident for poisoning our bodies so that we all have to risk developing cancer? Well, no, Rainbow. Cancer is usually the body's reaction to common harmful chemicals, bad diets, diseases, unhealthy habits. But can ponies who get involved with none of these still get cancer? Well, yes, absolutely. While abnormal, cancer is often a natural occurrence. I mean, but not all tumours lead to... So it is natural then? Didn't I just say yes? And there's a cure for cancer? No. Twilight coughed. There's treatment, ways of putting malignant tumours into remission, but there's no end-all, be-all cure. And why should there be? Raymond muttered. Cancer is just a product of life. Your body does what it does best, what it knows how to do, and it still ends up being a knife in the back. And isn't that the final irony? That the parts of ourselves that we're born with to sustain life will ultimately end it? Rainbow's nostrils flared. It's the same way I feel about depression. We're mortal ponies. We're infinite things thrown into an infinite everything. We're programmed to want unlimited stuff, but we're smart enough to know that we can't have all the stuff. And every little thing we do to amuse and distract ourselves have diminishing returns. Because we just know better. Death is bigger than all of us, even the thought of us. How can you be alive in this world and not be depressed? It's just the natural state of existing. Another sigh. Ponies who are clinically depressed, even those who are so that off the dwindle into obscurity and even kill themselves, their fault wasn't being depressed. They were just more alive than the rest of us. And the rest of us are simply kidding ourselves until, by our age or some circumstance, we become just as alive as the ponies who eventually blended in with the shadows. And all we'll find there is ourselves. Twilight cocked her head to the side, squinting at the mare. Well, there are some flaws in your analogy. Nothing's perfect, Twilight. Rainbow droned. Even if I cared enough to be the world's smartest pony, I'd still be wrong. Well, it's no crime to philosophise. No. The only crime is getting up in the morning, Rainbow said. After sleep, and his empty dreams has failed to do their job of erasing all the futility and pointlessness from your mind, and you live out your humdrum day like a sober abridgment of the slow whimper in the twilight that awaits us all. That sounds less like a crime and kind of more like a habit. No. Rainbow summoned the strength to shake her head. The real crime is going back to sleep and waking up the next day to do it all again. So is that why you're lying here, in the middle of the road? Twilight asked. Because after all that pseudo-philosophy and ontological analysis, you feel guilty for the crime of living? Nah. Rainbow exhaled. I'm just bored. Twilight face-soothed hard. Oh, Celestia, give me strength. I have so many unfinished tresses, Rarity murmured. Her mascara was running a little. Sniffling, she stripped off her shopping bags and slowly collapsed to the road beside Rainbow and Pinky. I'm always coming up with fashion products that are far too epic for me to ever accomplish. Oh, jeez, Rarity. Twilight clenched her teeth. Not you too. And what does it matter if I utilise an entire lifetime in engraving my name against an unfeeling tombstone that is the fashion industry? Rarity half sobbed, curling up into the fuzzy white ball. At some point, a meteor gamma ray burst of cosmic happenstance will erase all of the ponydom I will ever accomplish in the totality of our civilized existence. Oh, for crying out loud. It's all so very, very unfair. Rarity hyperventilated, her eyes growing mistier and mistier as her body grew limp and limper. Death isn't an end, it's a return to form. We are merely the detritus of stardust, after all. We only burn faster. Rarity, Pinkie Pie whimpered. The banana bread. Look! She held her morsel out in her hooves. It's nearly gone. Let us leave it uneaten, Pinky darling, Rarity cried. Allow the next evolving species to feast on the crumbs, to savour the delicacies of our fossilised remains, so they may be blind to an ontological anxiety that plagues us all. Also, Pinky outright wailed, the universe is expanding. Oh, blast it, girls, knock it off, Twilight growled. You live in Ponyville. Ponyville is not expanding. Yeah, I guess. Rainbow droned. Ugh, Rainbow. Woo-wee! An apple horse on apple horse legs drifted by. That's a bit descriptive. Dragging an apple horse cart as she... Ooh. 3 in 1. As she drawled in her apple horse voice. What in the hell are y'all laying in the street for? Is this a new dabbing fad that young folks are all into? Pinky lifted her fluffy head with a smile. No, you're mixing it up with the planking. Her mane instantly re-drooped as she sobbed to the heavens. And we're all born alone and we die alone. Insert crying sequence here. She fell back to the earth, curling up in a fit of hysterics beside Rarity. Alrighty then. Applejack nervously tipped the brim of her hat back and slowly pulled the cat towards Sugar Cube Corner. And this is why I never subscribed to Facebook. What? God damn it. Meanwhile, Twilight... Oh, for Christ's sake. Meanwhile, Twilight tried over and knelt before Rainbow Dash. Are you seriously going to just lie here in the road all day? Meh. Rainbow med. I guess. Is there anything I can do to convince you to get up and go out there? You know, enjoy your life? I don't know. Twilight tongued the inside of her muzzle. She looked around. Would it make you feel better if I joined you? For the first time that entire afternoon, Rainbow didn't have a retort. Not even a sigh. But either of them could produce another thought. Oh, by the way, y'all. Applejack looked back with a smile. We produced an overabundance of cider this season, so I brought an extra keg with me. Gonna unload at Sugar Cube Corner. First round's on the house. Rainbow Dash froze in the middle of being frozen. One ear moved, then the next. Finally, with the gruesome exploding in terror bang, her deadpan face lifted. Did she say cider? Why yes, Rainbow, Twilight droned. I believe she did. ... Rainbow shifted her leg muscles, her wing muscles, And then... Twilight slowly smiled. Is that enough to pull the miserable mayor of Maydom out of their funk cloud? No, Rainbow said slowly, achingly stood up on all fours. But it's not a bad thing either. That's the spirit, Applejack called from the entrance to Sugar Cube Corner. Now wipe your hooves clean and come inside, y'all. I'll pour each of you a tall glass. Well, Rarity stood up, wiped her mascara clean, and levitated her shopping bags beside her as she trotted briskly towards the cafe. A nice passionate drink sounds quite lovely right about now. Woohoo! Pinkie Pie, fluffy again, hopped after her. I just can't wait to drink the comment section. Wait, what? I just can't wait to drink the comment section. I mean, whole pint of cider! Insert laughing here. As Rainbow Dash limped after them, Twilight trotted by her side. You know, Rainbow, she said, leaning in, it's okay to have fun once in a while, especially when your heart and soul feels against it. You say that now, Rainbow muttered, but after all the cider's gone and I wake up from the reverie, I'll just be back to where I was again. Twilight nodded, and sometime after that, you'll be happy again also. She wagged her eyebrows. Is that a crime too? Yeah, I guess. Twilight laughed. Rainbow wasn't smiling. Perhaps it would have ruined it. Nevertheless, Twilight wrapped her wing around Rainbow, and Rainbow returned the gesture as they both shuffled into Sugar Cube Corner and into the warm echo of friends. Oh, God. Well, that was depressing. Although depressing, I'll admit, I tried to conceal some laughter near the end. Oh, God. Thanks for watching with love from England, as always. Oh, Christ almighty. I'm such a sad prick.